This one simply is to remind people that wars do not end in peace. That peace is often a harder struggle.
In my sit-down interview with Major General Walter Piatt, focusing on his paper, Winning the Peace in Iraq, his drive and message were clear.
I got to see that firsthand. So it's not that it's a completely different picture that you see on the news, but it's a different struggle. The people are struggling to get their lives back.
And to win the peace, the general says, the Iraqi people need to get their homes back, their jobs, have a bustling economy. And he says he has seen where that is starting to happen.
In Baghdad now, you see parks open up, you see water parks. I got to see a Ferris wheel and a park opened up in Mosul. And I said very clearly, when I ride that Ferris wheel, we're going to know that it's peace.
How much more time do you think for Iraq to start becoming, someplace that you'd be able to take your family?
I think that it's decades. I think that to overcome the devastation of war, just to rebuild the old city of Mosul.
And so deployments of soldiers from Fort Drum to Iraq could continue for years, perhaps decades, in order not to fight a war, but to keep the peace.
I often tell people this never ends, that we must stay committed to global security and helping our allies and partners if we're going to enjoy the freedoms that we expect here. We just can't take that for granted. And I've seen the devastation of war, and I don't want it to come to my country, and I don't want it to come to my family, and I don't want to see my friends and family have to witness that. But I do believe that we can win it. I do believe that peace is achievable.
Do you think in 50 years that people will look back at Iraq, and do you think the 10th Mountain Division and maybe the insignia is going to be, this was really a big part of what the division was and what we've built on with the 10th Mountain Division?
I think the respect that we have earned in these very difficult deployments will go down in history. And I think what we want, though, mostly, is to just see a stable Iraq. We've been there before. Many will say we won the fight once, only to leave and then have ISIS come back. And we won the fight again. We don't want to have to go there and win it a third time. We want the Iraqi people to enjoy the peace that they fought so hard to achieve and that they so richly deserve.